Welcome everybody to day 2 of the masterclass. We are talking about obtaining your WMBE certification if you are a minority-owned business owner, a woman. And we are going to be highlighting the fact that, let me bring it up right quick, what documents you're going to need for the process, right? Let's see. There we go. So we have about 2 minutes before we start. And I hope you all are able to take away some things, nuggets, learn something, and then apply it to your business. And let me know in the chat where you're from, if you already have your certification, and if so, what was your outcome? How has it been for you? How long did it take? Did you feel like the process was very daunting, or did you feel like it was a very easy process? You're from. And I am live, local, and late breaking. I promise you all, the next time around, I'm going to have I told you all, the mic coming out this way. That way it doesn't look so awkward here, because this looks kind of awkward. We will start at 5:00 on the dot. And again, if you're just now hopping on, let me know where you're from. Comments. Also, let me know if you know anything about the WMBE certification, and if you have it, what were the outcome? What's the outcome for you? Do you think it's worth it? And let me know if you can hear me in the comments. Type 1 if you can hear me. It is time to get started. 5:00 on the dot. So today we are on day 2 of the masterclass, and we are going to be discussing what documents you need in order to continue on with the certification process. Again, this is for anyone, if you're a minority, if you're a woman, if you're a clinical research site owner, founder, CEO, consultant, and you're looking to learn more about how you can obtain your certification, this course is exactly for you. And towards the end, I will answer questions, and I hope you stay towards the end as well, because I have some action items for you that you don't want to miss to help you prepare for the certification. All right. So what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn what documents you're going to need, and again, to help you prepare for this certification. And what it means is they want to see your ownership. I mentioned yesterday, you have to own at least 51% of your business, and you have to be the individual that's making the decision in your business. You can't own 51% of your business and then have maybe your significant other making the decisions. It has to be solely just you. They like to see the independence of the business. It's not just some kind of pass-through business, and they want to make sure your business is legitimate. And so let's go ahead and get into it. I just want to remind you, whenever you register for this event, you'll receive access to the replays, although you can probably go to my YouTube channel or LinkedIn to get the replay access. And or if you just want to go ahead and have it all bunched up together, I will have it stored in Thinkific. And also, whenever you register for this event, it's going to place you on the waiting list for the WMBE retreat we plan on having next year. It's going to be more of a high intimate touch and more of an execution process. And I can't wait to have it. It's going to be my first one, but go ahead, register. That way you'll know what's to come for next year. Okay, I'm going to give you a high level overview of the application workflow. So first off, you're going to create and confirm your business account. Two, you're going to select what kind of certification you're going to do or want. Right now, it's the MWBE. There are different types, but we're focusing on MWBE. You're going to complete your business profile. You're going to upload required documents. You're going to have to sign affidavits and submit it. Usually there are follow-up questions or clarifications. I mentioned that yesterday. If you have a document that is missing, they will not necessarily deny it, but they will let you know, like, hey, we can't go through the process until you rectify this issue. They give you time to rectify it, and then you move on to the next step. And then there's also a renewal process. It's different for different states. I know in Missouri, the renewal cycle is 1 year. What are reviewers? What are they trying to verify? Across most of the programs, they want to know if you meet the eligibility. We talked about that ownership portion and the qualifying identity yesterday, and I just touched on it a few seconds ago. They also want to verify that you control and manage the daily operations. You control the finances, banking authority, signing authority. And remember, whenever I mentioned yesterday the bank authorization form, they're going to want that because they want to see that your name is actually on that authorization. You have sole control as to how the money is spent and those types of things within your finances. And they also want to verify you are independent, not controlled by a non-qualified person and or company. The documentation. Category 1, identity and eligibility documentation. This is one of the things that's commonly asked for. For me, I know they wanted my resume, which I thought was very interesting. Of course, they want the government ID, your driver's license, proof of citizenship, legal residency, birth certificate, and proof of minority status. A lot of times they're going to want you to, whenever you have your birth certificate, I think it's the long form. I didn't have to do the long form, but there are some states that require the long form. That way they know that first, you're a woman, and two, that you are actually minority. Because if you're going around and trying to fill this out, you're not a woman and you're not a minority, they will reject you. So we're not looking to do any rejections, correct? And you have to sign an affidavit. These are the requirements by the certifying body, the third vendor, and the category is pretty much consistent. And some states require like a lot of documents. For me, I would say, I think there were about 12 documents that I had to upload. I have to go back and look, but it was quite a few. Category 2, legal formation and ownership structure. Of course, whenever you first form your business as an LLC or corporation, you have the articles of organization and corporation. You get that document that has to be uploaded into the portal. Your operating agreement or bylaws, shareholder docs, that has to be uploaded into the portal too. Portal too, not portical. What's portical? Your EIN letter, business registration in the state that you registered your business in, they need to see that. And then the ownership breakdown, membership units or shares. They want to make sure that whenever you upload and you say who you are and this is your actual business, the documentation reflects what you have to say. So category 3, the control and decision-making authority. I mentioned before, they want to make sure you are the decision maker in your business. Titles and roles in the operating and agreement or the bylaws. Number 2, they want to see who can bind the company by the signing authority. They also want to see who controls the day-to-day operations, who controls the hiring and firing and vendor selection. And last but not least, who controls the major financial decisions? You have to be control of all of it. You can't just have one piece, nitpick here and there. You have to be control of it all, especially as a small business owner. Category 4, what are some of the financial separations in business bankings? This is very major and it's a common request. I mentioned before they want the bank authorization statements, so the business bank accounts. They also want insurance, your business insurance. They want to see if you have like a legitimate website. And then also, they also want to see your proof of services, your capability statement, service list, past performance, etc. They want to make sure that the business you say that you have is active, it's real, and the services that you're providing, whatever you're providing, you're actually truthful about it. So they're really checking the legitimacy of you and your business as a minority business owner and as a woman. Category 6. What do they scrutinize companies for or small business owners for? One of the things, if you are not a non-qualifying person, funds, controls, or primarily manages the business. So anything that they accept, if you don't have anything that they accept in that category, and it's the flip side, if that makes any sense, or the opposite is true, then that is a good way to not qualify for the certification. If the revenue is almost entirely dependent upon one controlling entity, that's another one. The third one is the key decisions are made by someone other than the qualifying owner. And then the fourth one is that the qualifying owner lacks industry knowledge needed to operate the business. So that goes into the topic of whenever you get into like the procurement process and RFP and the capability statements, whatever services you have to offer, you darn for sure need to make sure you are the SME. Because whenever you get ready to bid on these contracts, and let's say you bid on a contract and that's not what your area expertise, they will actually pass you on the bid. Or if they find out if you have poor performance, if you win the bid and you're not performing very well because you kind of stretch the truth, you lose that contract. So let's not do that. Let's make sure we say who we are. We know what we're working with. We know what kind of services that we offer, and we are actually the experts in the services that we have to offer, right? I hope I'm making some sense, and I hope I'm not going too fast. What are some common mistakes that actually delay the approval process? Missing signatures, incomplete uploads. As a matter of fact, whenever I went to the Missouri portal, I noticed, I was thinking, oh, maybe I just need a few of the documents. I can upload it and then send my application on its merry way. And it doesn't allow you to, I guess you can submit it, but it didn't allow me to submit it because every time I would hit the refresh page thinking like, oh, those documents, they're going to go away. It's optional. No, they stay there until you have actually uploaded each and every document they want you to upload in the portal. Another delay comes from inconsistent ownership on the documents. The percentages, they don't match across the forms. Another delay, the third one, is no clear operating agreement and or bylaw language showing control. The fourth delay comes from business or personal finances mixed in together. So if you have a business and your name is on the bylaws, give an example, but your name is not on the bank statement, there's some inconsistency there. And let's see here. The fourth one, if I didn't mention, the business and personal finances are mixed together. And then the fifth one, the applicant cannot show operational activity yet or no proof of services. You all let me know if you have any questions. And again, make sure you have registered for this event, and this registration will actually put you on our waiting list for the upcoming retreat, and more details to come on that. This was very short. I think what I'm going to do after I'm done with this, I want to show you like what Missouri's portal looks like. As far as the documents, I did it a few days ago, but since we're talking about documents today, I'll go ahead and do it again. I think today is going to be very short. So this is what you're going to do. Your action item for today. It doesn't require any submission. But what it's going to do is help you prepare for the submission. That way, whenever you get ready to submit your documents, it's going to be a lot faster and you're not scrambling around trying to look for all of them. So step number 1, what I want you to do on your computer is create a WMBE certification document vault. And then within that vault, you're going to create 6 subfolders. So 1 is going to be identity and eligibility. 2 is going to be formation and ownership. 3, you're going to have your financials and banking information. 4, control and management. That's where your bylaws come in. Let's see, operations and proof of work, business license, business licenses, your business insurance. That's another thing I had to upload as well. And step number 3, upload what you already have. If you haven't created an account already, that's what you're going to do. And then step number 4, you will start a missing items checklist. It's a 1 page. It shouldn't be that much. And then assign due dates to each one. That way you're not feeling overwhelmed like, oh, I have to upload all of these documents today, or I have to find all these documents today. It can be a bit overwhelming, but if you go ahead and follow these steps today, create your mini folders, or even if you want to write it down on a piece of paper saying, okay, this is a checklist that I have, and I'm going to find at least one of the items, documents on this checklist today. So you can set aside time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour each and every day to make sure you have all the documents you need according to the state that you live in. This will help you streamline your process, and it will help you fill out the form a lot quicker and faster, and it will minimize the delays. And it also minimizes the fact that they will request for some kind of follow-up because maybe you have a document missing, or maybe it's not the correct document. Please, everyone, put your questions in the chat. So let's go ahead and recap for today. I told you today was going to be real short. We established the documents that you're going to need for the certification, and it's not for marketing purposes. This is a must-have, and depending upon the certifying bodies, they will require different documents, but it's pretty much there's a standard across the board. So 1, certification bodies verify documented ownership, not just you saying that you own the business, but they want to see proof. Number 2, they want to control must be demonstrated through legal authority and financial authority. 3, identity verification confirms eligibility. However, it does not establish control. Number 4, financial separation supports independence. And then number 5, operational proof confirms the business is real and active. Certification reviewers, they rely on documentation, consistency, and not just assumptions. And you have to think, even in the clinical research industry, you can't rely on assumptions. This is highly regulated, just like anything within the clinical research industry. You have to have valid documentation stating you are who you are, and it proves, there's a paper trail proving that your business is legit. Tomorrow session might be a little bit longer, but as I mentioned before, I really don't like for my sessions to be that long, maybe up to 30 minutes, depending upon how it's going. And anybody that's just coming on, let me know where you're from and if you learned anything from day 1 and or 2, and let me know if you actually have the certification. If so, how well has it worked out for you? So tomorrow we're going to talk about your digital footprint. I speak highly on that all the time. Once you're certified, how important it is. And then day 4, everybody always wants to know about the revenue possibilities. So once you get your certification, it creates a greater opportunity, and then the income will eventually flow or come through. No promises. I don't guarantee anything, but this is just the process on how it's laid out. And again, if you're just now coming on, make sure you have registered for the event. so you can get on our waiting list for the upcoming WMBE retreat. And I'm pretty excited about that. And actually, before I get to the questions, I said what I wanted to do was go to the actual website so you can see what documents I had to upload for Missouri. So give me a few seconds and let me look for it. That's not what I want. Put your questions in the chat. Let's see. And how's everyone doing this evening? Let's see. I'm looking for. Does anybody have any questions as I'm going through and looking for this? Oh, here we go. Actually, that's not what I want either. Mari Sims, you're from Michigan. How are you? I'm glad to see you on live. Do you know anything about the WMBE certification? And if so, have you been certified? Or have you heard anything about it? I'm actually excited about talking about this because, as I said, it's something that my mother introduced to me a while ago. And it's so worth going through the process, right? And actually, what I'm going to do is show you all the documents that I had to upload. Okay. I've got it up. I'm going to share my screen. All right, everybody, let me know if you can see my screen. And if you can see my screen, type 2 if you can see Office of Equal Opportunity. And there's actually a lag time on this call here or webinar. So, I don't know why it didn't show up. There we go. So the documents that you need, this is for Missouri. Now, remember, I mentioned it's different for every state, but there is a standard. So it says for all applicants, I actually had to turn in my resume. They want to make for sure that you have the experience that you claim to have for your business, because depending on what industry you're in, whenever you get ready to bid on contracts, create your capability statement, your RFPs, and you're going to these companies and you're bidding on contracts that's not within your area of expertise, you're going to lose that contract. They're going to find out, because what will happen is if you're not experienced in what you say you're experienced in, the performance will be poor and you will lose the contract. And also, from what I'm learning, you have to have like a flexibility on the bending whenever it comes to bidding on contracts, right? And also, I'll teach this later on. Whenever you're bidding on a contract, you have to make sure that you're bidding within your organization's capacity. If you have a capacity that is worth $150,000 a contract, and you're bidding on a contract that's worth $5 million, and they're out there, well, if your company doesn't have the capacity to do the $5 million work, then you're going to lose a contract too, because you're not going to be able to meet the deliverables for the buyers. So you'll need your resume. Make sure that's updated with your business and where you've worked, education. You're going to need your federal tax returns. For me, I saw SOS registration, and what that means is you have a good standing with Missouri Secretary of State whenever you register. So the business is not bad, it's actually legit. Another document is proof of identification. I mentioned the birth certificate and the driver's license or passport. I uploaded my birth certificate and my driver's license. I know in some states they want you to upload your long form birth certificate to actually show that you are a minority and you're a woman, especially for the minority part. I'm not going to read all of this, but this goes to show you like what documents you actually need for at least for Missouri. There's an affidavit. Now the affidavit, that's a must. Your payroll. Now, sometimes and it's okay if you don't necessarily have payroll, because some businesses, they haven't been in business long enough to have payroll. And what you do is you give a statement like, oh, I'm the only one, I'm the sole owner of this business, and I am the sole employee of this business, because in volunteers, they don't count as payroll, obviously. So you're the only one, and that's a document that you can write up and sign and date and let them know like you're the only one that's running the business, running it, and you don't have any employees. Let's see here. I didn't do this part. If you are not aware, this certification application, it takes 60 to 90 days. And once everything is correct, it goes through like a preliminary approval process. And then once you pass that part, then they do a little bit of a deeper dive on the documents you have uploaded to make sure it's valid. And then once you pass that stage, you've got all this information, it's proof, it's legit. Then they either do an on-site visit or remote, and that will last for about 15 to 30 minutes. And that's pretty much what I want to show you all. Again, you can go to Google and type in WMBE for your state, the state that you live in, and see what comes up. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can do that here. So you live in Michigan. Let's type in WMBE for the state of Michigan. Let's see what comes up. Let me stop sharing. Let's play around just a little bit. So minority and women-owned business certification, it says Southeast Michigan. Let's click on this link here. Okay. Okay, so no, you don't. All right, let me look at the Mari. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Actually, I'm excited to check on this for you. Let's see what they have. All right. Okay. So this looks like Great Lakes Women's Business Council. Um, it looks like a nonprofit organization. We provide access to capital, corporate procurement opportunities, certification for women-owned business enterprises. Here we go. And small business educational support. Let's see what else. We represent over 1,500 women's business enterprise national council, generating approximately 21.2 billion in annual revenue and employing over 81,000 US workers and 70 plus corporate partners. Okay, I want to see. Oh, look. Oh, no. Go back for a second. Seem like there's definitely a lag time. Council generating approximately 21.2 billion in annual revenue and employing over. Okay. So it looks like it's saying to register now. Oh, and I also want to remind you, some states they do charge for registration. Missouri does not. I'm thinking either New York. There's a state that actually charges like $250. I can't remember which one. So it looks like they do have the Certified Women's Business Enterprises certification. Step one, apply for the WMBE certification. And remember, whenever I talked about there's a standard across the board, you have to be at least 51% of your business and controlled by one or more women who are in, let's see, who are US citizens or legal resident aliens. Okay. Let's see. Let's get certified. Acknowledge. It looks like I have to get certified. Oh no, I'm here. So it looks like if you're in the state of Michigan, this is where you need to go to get certified. Step one, they're going to determine if you are eligible. Let's view the eligibility criteria for Michigan. And remember, it's pretty much the same as Missouri. So if you meet the eligibility criteria, then compiled required documentation. What kind of documentation do they require for Michigan? Uh, Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, some of the documentation that they require. Let's see here. Here we go. A signed sworn affidavit. Let's see. What is this? A WBEN Link 2.0 user agreement. There is a non-refundable processing fee. Ooh, this is interesting. So you might have to do your due diligence to see if there's a company out there that doesn't charge, but there are some that do. So it looks like the revenue category, if you make under a million, it costs $350 to apply. If you make between 1 million and 5 million, $500 and so forth. And here is, even if you need to pay for it, you can download the list of this PDF so you can start gathering up all your documents. And then it'll probably be in your best interest to actually call this company to make sure you're on the right track. Remember, we talk about the ownership, eligibility, your financial structure. They're going to want to need that. And a lot of times that you have to be in business for at least 2 to 3 years. They have that as mandatory. What else? Debt instruments, loan agreements, note payables, promissory notes, any equipment rental or purchase agreements or proof of equipment purchase. I didn't have to have all that because I haven't purchased any equipment yet. A copy of bank signature authorization card or corporate resolution. I went to my bank and I had them they provided me with the bank signature authorization and then just another bank authorization document. So I uploaded two. And then whenever I uploaded my documents, there's also a place for you to put a comment as well along that is associated with the document, just maybe for clarification purposes. Personnel management, a list of full or part-time employees. For me, it's just me. And remember, volunteers, they do not count because you can't add volunteers onto your payroll. So the list just goes on and on. I can actually put this link in the chat for you, Mari. And if this is something you're interested in, hey, check it out. And just to remind you, if you haven't registered for this event, go ahead and get registered. That way we can get you, because I plan on having a WMBE retreat next year, and we're going to do more of a deeper dive, more of the execution process, and just a lot of things that I've learned along the way. Because what I like to do is I like to teach things that I've already done and I'm either going through, because I don't want to teach something that I haven't done myself. And it makes it easier to teach as well. So does anyone have any questions? Is anyone from a different state? I can go and look up what the WMBE requirements are for another state if you want me to. And then, as I said, I would have to do more of a search to see if there is an organization out there that doesn't charge. But mind you, there are some organizations that do charge. And it's probably for your benefit too, because a lot of times some of the organizations that do charge, they help you go through the process step by step, which is great. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I don't know, what industry do you work in, the clinical research industry? And if so, what do you do, Mari? I like to, figure out what are some other ways that we can create opportunities of generating more revenue, creating opportunities of getting yourself out there to your B2B clients or B2B potential clients, if you will, working in the clinical research space, because again, it's something that I haven't heard anybody talk about. And also, I was actually shocked to see that there are some sponsors in this industry that actually will, if you have this certification, then that increases your opportunity to actually gain contracts, bid on contracts with some of the CROs and sponsors in this industry. And I didn't know that until like maybe a week ago. So not only do you have your day job, and it's cool if you want to keep your day job, but however, in order to qualify for this, you do have to have a business, register your business, have a service, at least one strong service that you have to offer, and then one strong service that you know that the industry is in need of, like a pain point. You're solving a pain point. I talk about this all the time in the clinical research industry. If you can find out what kind of service you can offer to your B2B clients that's solving a pain point for them, it's going to help them reduce the cost, the time, you're creating efficiency, then you're going to be on to creating another stream of revenue for yourself. And you don't necessarily have to quit your day job, but I mean, if it does get more busier and you can't quit your day job, or at some point you probably have to, but in order, whenever you're an entrepreneur, you still have to work your day job, right? Hello, Mohammed. Do you have any questions? So you are a senior CRA. Do you have a business license? And also, just to reiterate, you guys, you have to have obviously your business insurance too, because that's one of the things you have to upload in the portal, at least for Missouri. And I'm sure for every other state, you have to have a business license. And Muhammad, I don't know if you, and there's also if you are a male and a minority, that there's a WMBE for women and MBE for men. Um, does anyone else have any questions? This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Actually going on live to see what's available in different states other than Missouri. Okay, you don't have any questions. You're in the process now of getting your certification. What step are you on? I just passed the preliminary approval stage. I'm on the second step. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. And it's, I'm still I have a lot of other irons in the fire, but as a soon to be, site owner, creating all these opportunities, not just for myself, community, and then making yourself available to other B2B clients. That's how you generate different streams of revenue and not necessarily dependent upon one. Let's see. You all, I'm checking the comments. Okay. Okay. No questions. Just getting started. Sorry. Your LLC. Okay, cool. Cool. I opened up my business in 2023. Yep, 2023. And I've told this story before. I don't know if you listened to my other videos. I actually started off with a 6-month program that I thought was going to be very, very wonderful, and it flopped. And then I realized, that's not necessarily solving a pain point in this industry. And that's whenever I started to say, okay, this is the kind of business I need to create to help solve the pain point. And of course, opening up a clinical research site in Missouri, Sikeston, Missouri. And by the way, I've got some good news on that too. It's just taken a while because the business I'm building is from the grassroots. At this point, I'm going through, next year will be the execution process. That's what I'm working on. kind of getting everything geared up. I'm going to say by this time next year, I will let you all know kind of like an overview of um, what to do next after applying and getting your certification. And then remember, let's see. Whenever you register for this event now, you're going to be on the waiting list for the WMBE retreat that I'm going to be hosting next year. I'm actually excited about it. I have to figure out where I want to host it, though. You all give me some locations. Drop it in the comment. Where would you want to, if I held this retreat, where are some places that you would want to go? Where would you travel to? I have one place in mind. I won't say where it is just yet, but I think it'll be a good location to have it. Absolutely. You join to gain some knowledge. All right, go back if you need to. If you haven't viewed day one, I did day one yesterday. And then day two, the recording will be up on my YouTube page and also on LinkedIn. I'm streaming live on both platforms. And I also will add all of these sessions into my Think of It platform. So it creates like a small free mini course for people to take and gain more information. And it depends on how well this goes. But yeah. But I'm glad you joined, Muhammad. Tell me, did you learn anything or did you come in on like the last part of it? I will be ending this live at 6 o'clock. And I actually been ending it a little bit sooner. If nobody has any questions, I don't feel the need to drag it out. But the chat has been a little bit more active today. Exciting. Oh, Chicago. Let's see here. All right, what about Chicago? I thought you were from Michigan. Are you in Chicago right now as a traveling CRA? What did I miss? Could I share my YouTube channel? Yes, I can. I will put it in the chat right now. And mind you, I want you all to know that I just started doing like these LinkedIn lives consistently 6-7 months ago, trying to upload content onto YouTube. So I'm pretty kind of fresh on there, but I will be adding more as time goes on. So let me go get you the link. And also, as you're going through and looking at my YouTube channel, let's see here. Okay. Hold on. Let me. So, Muhammad, I am sharing my YouTube link right here. Let's see. Yes, it is a huge delay. Let's see here. Where did I? Okay. Chicago. Okay, Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. I will write that down. So Chicago is a place to have the retreat. I think it would do very well. Yeah, huge delay. I'm also thinking of Las Vegas too. So Chicago is one. And if it turns out very well, it might be something that I host every single year at different locations, though. You're welcome. And then, of course, you can always come back to this webinar masterclass day 2 and add in comments like, hey, I would like to hear more about this. Now, I stick with here's my niche. I live in a rural area, site ownership. I do have a nonprofit organization, diversifying income, how to show up on LinkedIn, and what else? Creating content for your LinkedIn newsletters, those types of things. And I'm really big on B2B content, creating B2B content, and creating courses and services for B2B clientele. Vegas. You're welcome. Okay. So here's the format that I have, and I actually love doing this. I do LinkedIn Lives every single month, and I do 3-4 day stretches, and also I'll do pop-up lives as well. But I've been consistent with doing LinkedIn Lives, and I'm shifting a little bit towards, as I said, more B2B type of content, more B2B services, if you will, or how to attract B2B clients, how to partner with B2B vendors. Absolutely. You're welcome. I'm glad you all hopped on. Love the questions, love the interaction. Don't forget, tomorrow we are going to be talking about, where are we? How LinkedIn visibility strengthens the impact of the certification, and really just your digital footprint. If you're not able to make it to the live tomorrow, there's always the replay for 1, 2, 3, and day 4. But tomorrow is day 3. Day 4 will be the 18th, and that's the last day masterclass that I'm doing for the rest of the year. And then also next year, I plan on doing master classes, of course, going live. And then I'm going to try to do more intimate webinars. Do you host sessions daily on LinkedIn? No, I don't do daily. That's a lot. I do write in my LinkedIn newsletters. If there's a topic that you want me to discuss, whenever I do like LinkedIn masterclasses or questions, you can message me. And I also have a LinkedIn accelerator course that does more of a deeper dive versus what I do on the LinkedIn lives. We're going to be rolling that out next year. It actually has like 76 lessons. They're short lessons, but there's 76 lessons and some bonus modules in there too. And actually it's $497 for right now. It's pretty cheap. And I create courses based upon, of course, what the industry wants or like what LinkedIn says you should be doing. And then I interweave in my experience. That way you're getting something that is real and authentic and in real time and not something that's just theory or made up. I make sure whatever I deliver to you, I'm trying to give you exactly what the platform wants you to, say or wants you to do, so you can be successful. And I just finished up a masterclass last month. Well, I ended up one of them on the 4th day this month. So you'll see that session as well. Oops. But yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. You're welcome. You're welcome. I absolutely love doing these lives, you all. I really do. They're fun. They can be educational. It helps me learn. It helps me, gather up information that I see what's working, see what's not working, staying consistent, um, those types of things. So, yeah. And I'm more on the entrepreneurship side too, obviously. So whenever I create these things is to help entrepreneurs, gain more visibility, expand their business, uh, let them know how they can create more opportunities for themselves, for yourself and your business. And you don't have to just go the traditional route. You can keep going on the traditional route, but there are ways of monetizing, and it does take time. I will tell you that it does take time. It's nothing magical that happens, and you definitely have to work at it. Not impossible. You all, this was fun. We are at 5:53 p.m. See you later. Bye bye, Muhammad. So, Muhammad, let's see. Okay. I can stay on a little bit longer. Heck, we're almost at 6 o'clock for anybody else that wants to come on and ask questions. And I'm also looking at my chat too on LinkedIn because there is a huge delay. I hope to see you tomorrow, but Thursday I have an appointment. That's cool. The replay will be there available for you to watch. All right. 5 more minutes. Anybody else? I'll wait. And of course, you all make your comments, share this live event with your friends and family. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely a delay. That's crazy. I do have a nonprofit organization. 5:55. All right. You guys, I will see you tomorrow, day 3. We're going to talk about LinkedIn visibility and what happens whenever you have your certification and where you should be posting it and why it's important that you let the world know you have the certification. Talk to you all soon. Bye.